Ron Magill joins us every single week. He's been doing so for years. He is writing a book with Greg Cote. He can't hear us? He can't hear
I hear you perfectly. No,
you do?
don't stop.
Wow.
I hear you perfectly.
Wow.
It's Christmas.
Jeez.
My God, guys. Finally get the thing to work, and then you stop?
Yeah.
We're not
Stop till the producer says stop.
Well, someone said stop in my ear. I don't know who it was. I mean,
Oh, my
why are you
God,
lying?
No one said stop in your ear.
perhaps it was Lewis. I mean, I'm just
I
lifetime
hear
of
you
doing
all perfectly.
LSD. I don't know.
Don't touch anything. Let's
Any-
keep on going. Yes. Greg
Anyway.
and I wrote this great book.
Yes.
It's going to be a great book. And we got signed editions coming up for Father's Day. A special edition signed by both of us for Father's Day. Pride of a Lion, baby. There you go. God bless. This is working now.
It's very exciting. We'll get to yours and Greg's book in just a second here. But, Ron, first, congratulations on winning Best Overall Image. If we have that image, let's put it up. In the annual Coral Gables Garden Club, As I See It photo contest. What a ridiculous contest. But congratulations to you, Ron Magill, for having the best photo of the year, the best image of the year.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. The $1,000 prize wasn't so ridiculous.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Look
There
at
you go.
Attaboy.
Payback.
I like it. Yes.
What can you tell us about the photo, Ron? Give us the details.
I was getting a freaking blood transfusion as I was taking that photo. That's in the middle of the Pantanal in Brazil. And this caiman grabbed this fish. And this happens in a split second, man. It's just, bah, 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 and they cut out of the water and they try to reposition it in the air. And this is like split second. So I'm shooting this at 20 frames a second. I'm going, and in the meantime, I got about 30 deer flies biting the hell out of me. I mean, blood is trickling down my face. But I want to get the shot. And then I don't see it because it's happening so fast. And then I looked in my LCD and I saw that one moment where the jaw is open and the fish is suspended in midair, not touching either jaw. The deer flies are flying around. The reflections in the water. Man, all the stars aligned. And I said, bam, this is a winner.
Wow. What are the odds that fish survived the encounter?
I can tell you that split second after that photograph was taken, it was in the caiman's belly, so it did not.
So you photographed a murder.
No, I photographed the circle of life, Billy. That's what I photographed, the circle of life. Can you feel
Ron, what can you
I got
tell
my
us?
staff members back here. I hear them in the back of the office saying they're dying. They can't believe I'm doing this on a podcast.
That's
Yeah.
by the way, that's
Yeah.
not even the Circle of Life song. That's Can You Feel the Love Tonight? That's a different song.
but it's part of the circle of life, okay? There we go.
I missed the audio issues.
Ron, what can you tell us about the flamingos that are now repopulating here in Florida?
Yes, baby. Flamingos are coming and they're staying. And we're hoping they stay through the winter. We hope they start
Come
to
on, the
nest again.
flamingos.
What? What did she say?
Say it
Keep
again.
it moving, Ron. Don't worry.
Cheering on the
Disregard
flamingos.
that.
Cheering on the flamingos.
I'm happy for the flamingos. I
Come
was cheering
on.
them on.
Yeah, this is a great thing. This is really a great thing. You know, there's an effort right now in Tallahassee. We're trying to get the flamingo to be designated the official state bird. Because right now the state bird is the mockingbird. How appropriate, a mockingbird for the state of Florida.
The
It's getting mocked
mockingbird.
all over the freaking country right now.
We deserve
so
it.
Let's go for
Yeah.
the flamingo, a little elegance.
Ding.
That's a fair point. We do deserve that. I don't know if we deserve the flamingo.
Ron,
Jessica, you were just rooting on the flamingo, and now you're hammering it back. What's going on?
I said it's too good for us, Ron.
Nothing's too good for us, Jessica. Nothing is too good for us.
Yeah.
Ron,
Yeah.
I found a snake in my yard eating a lizard, and I Googled it, and I think it's a white-bellied rat snake. Is that a possibility?
There's no such thing as a white-bellied rat snake.
Well, that's not what Google says.
Well, you know what? If you listen to everything Google says, you're going to have a rough time in life.
Well, I mean, this snake is only alive because Google told me it was safe. I was about to go after it and give it a machetazo across the head and then put an end to the
Glad that
snake.
Google told you it was safe. It's most likely a black racer, which is, dark slate gray, and it does have a white belly. So you immediately assume there must be a white-bellied rat snake because it has a white belly, and it's,
Oh, my God.
That's actually a racer. That's a black racer, just like I predicted. They are primarily lizard eaters. They're found all over Florida. They will scare you. I mean, if you corner one, it will strike at you, and it will rattle its tail. It doesn't have rattles at the end, but it'll rattle its tail in dead leaves, so it makes the rattling sound. So it's really a harmless snake, feeds on lizards, and if you grab it, not only will it try to bite you, but it will musk you. It emits, it gets rid of this musk that is so smelly you have to wait for your skin to die off before that smell goes away.
Well, this one was like sitting up almost. It looked like a cobra kind of. It was like
Yeah.
it had
Yeah,
its
they do
head
that.
up. And then I saw this run, and I was wondering if I was about to witness the circle of life. I saw a number of birds on a bush right above it, and I was wondering if these birds were about to try to attack it.
Absolutely not. They were panicking. And that's the way I find snakes when I'm out in the wild is I listen for birds alarming, because they know the snakes eat bird chicks and they eat bird eggs. We're in the middle of the breeding season right now, so there's a lot of nests with eggs and chicks in them, and snakes are a huge threat to them. So when they see blue jays, especially, I find when I'm looking for coach whips and things here at the zoo, I listen for the blue jays. They're alarming. They're alarming at the snake. That's how I can find the snake. That's all they're doing. Is they're just alarming to ensure that their chicks and their eggs aren't getting predated on.
Ron, one of my friends moved to Okinawa recently, and she's been telling me about the habu snakes there. And apparently, the anecdote, if you get bitten by one, antidote, yeah, not anecdote.
Nailed
it. Fine.
She was telling me an
That was
anecdote
Funny
about
story.
the antidote.
Anonymity.
And anyways, people can have a really
So proud of
severe
yourself.
reaction from it, and it could be worse than the actual bite itself. So why is there an antidote that is actually not going
Jessica,
to kill people?
That's the way it is with any antivenin. Antivenins are made by injecting horses with the venom, because horses are so large, they then build up antibodies, and they use horses' blood to make that antivenin. So if you have an allergic reaction to the horse's blood, yes, you can go into anaphylactic shock, and that can cause a real problem. So people sometimes are allergic to the antivenin itself, which can be sometimes more dangerous than the venom. This is why, you guys are all too young, but way back, one of my first jobs was a place called the Miami Serpentarium.
Greg's
I
not.
worked for a guy named Bill Haast, and Bill Haast would donate his blood because he injected himself with venoms to build up this antibodies in his blood so they could use human blood for people who were allergic to the horse serum. And that was a big thing back then.
Ron, going back to the lizard situation on a question that I've asked you previously, the curly tails that are all over Dayland that now we see kind of all over the place. Lewis is saying that they're now in Doral. I see them in Dayland. Billy sees them in Westchester. Like, they're everywhere. Are we going to have a predator that's going to come in and regulate this or not?
I hope so. I mean, I've already seen birds of prey eating them. I've seen snakes eating them. We just don't have enough predation on them because they reproduce at such a rapid rate and they're spreading so much. By the way, Tony, I met your sister. I didn't know you were related to like major politicians here in the state of Florida.
Ron, yeah, absolutely.
That's big, man. She's a very nice lady. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
We missed you this Saturday, by the way, Ron. We're still playing, so anytime you want to come by, we're still going to hang out.
Brother, I'm 65 years old. I'm done.
Vince is out there still, 62. He's still out there.
He's 62. Okay, I played until I was 63. Okay,
Oh, wow.
I played until I was 63. No
One more
major
year for Vince,
injuries.
it sounds like.
Take that,
Nothing like
Vince.
that. Vince is a better athlete than I ever was. He's in better shape than I ever was. I am now, I think that's 65, and I'm done, brother. I don't want to be one of, I remember when I was your age, Tony, and I looked at guys like me, and I used to say, I don't want to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
Okay, you're still in your prime. You're still shooting them out the crate. I'm now an old man out there that you guys can just make fun of, and I'm not going to be that anymore.
Ron, a dumbass in New Zealand
donkey?
was fined
Took my joke.
over a video that showed him jumping off a boat trying to body slam an orca. Now, how dangerous was that? Like, an orca is called a killer whale. Is that a misleading nickname, or could that guy have been actually killed
You
by
say
this
body
orca?
slam, like more of like an elbow drop from
No,
the
Like
top
from the
rope?
top rope?
Like he was going like how you do a full body,
Like a
Like
belly
frog
flop?
splash?
Like a
Belly
belly
flop.
like a belly
belly
flop,
flop.
but right on an
Like a
orca.
pile
That's not a
driver.
body slam. That's a body
whatever.
slam would be picking up the orca out
Like
of
a
the water.
tombstone.
All right, whatever. A body slam.
stone cold
The guy is
stunner.
That would be
definitely an
crazy.
idiot. The orca could have certainly hurt him, even killed him.
slam
That's
would
not
be
to say that orcas effectively will go after people. I think I've told the story on this show on a previous occasion when I was actually swimming in the Galapagos Islands and photographing green sea turtles when an orca swam over me, looked at me and just kept on swimming. So it's not like they're going to look at you and go, oh my God, I want to kill. They feed on seals, sea lions. They do kill great white sharks, as we know, but they don't necessarily look at humans. However, if some dumb ass human jumps on me as a belly flop, yeah, just out of anger, I might turn around and just, screw them up. And that could have been what I call natural selection.
Ron, we agreed to disagree a week or two ago about the ability for a human to live inside of a whale. Stugotz says that he thinks that a fly may have flown into him the other day through his mouth.
yeah.
If that's the case,
Yeah.
how long could a fly live inside of him if a fly were to go inside of him?
just long enough to lay eggs, which will then hatch out into little
Jesus.
maggots, which will then be inside of his belly.
My God.
And it will feed on different things.
What
So,
do I
yeah,
do?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Drink a whole bottle of Tabasco sauce at one time and hope it kills him down there.
Ron, what is the
No, that's my only option.
That can't be good advice.
Wow.
I have one pepper for you.
Ron, what's the best orifice
Bet the
for
pepper.
an insect to crawl into and then have their offspring live?
If they were going to enter you, where would you most want it?
No, not where would you most want it.
What?
Where would it be able to most succeed?
You know, it's common. It's common. You know, I don't know how these conversations degrade on this way, but insects most commonly go into people's ears. And while people are sleeping, I mean, you can go on YouTube and you'll see videos of them taking these huge tweezers and pulling out massive roaches, it seems like from inside a person's brain. They pull it out, and this huge
Jesus.
roach. It's horrible.
Right.
Look it up, Stugotz. I know you're going to look it up. You'll find it.
Tabasco sauce. I mean,
A whole bottle.
Oh, it'll kill the worms.
Oh, God. All right, Ron, I want you to watch a video with us. You always tell us to be calm in these situations. It's a video of an alligator staring down a family from behind a fence. Let's take a look.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Oh, no, he's breathing. He's calling. He's bellowing. You see how the water jumps off his back?
Away. Back away.
He's courting them.
Back up.
Courting.
He's courting the humans?
He's courting. Yeah, he's doing that. This is the instinct where he's bellowing right now. He's going, and then he vibrates his back, and the water bounces off his back into the females. That's like sexy. That's what they do. That's part of their courtship. It's cool, man.
So he's literally like, hey, what's up?
That's exactly what he's doing. That's
Can I
exactly
buy
what
you a
he's doing.
drink?
Just saying hello, huh?
Come on, the
That's
alligators.
it. Well, it's kind of like how you doing, not just hello.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Go Gators! I like it, Tony. I like it.
I don't.
That was for you.
Ron, before we get you out of here, I want to talk about the book in a second here. One more video here of a bear, a black bear in California, stealing only something that I would steal if I could steal it.
A
I
picnic
was
basket.
scared to death. Like, he was so close. That never happened before.
New at 4, neighbors in Monrovia reacting after a familiar bear makes an appearance and breaks into a home. That grizzly calmly making its way in and out of that
Are those
house.
powdered
window.
donuts?
Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter live in Monrovia, where she's.
They were Oreo cookies. Yeah.
That didn't look like an Oreo package. I know my cookie packages. That looked like a powdered donuts baggie.
Powder.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You got
You are an expert. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like a hostess
Oh,
situation.
dude.
Yeah. Do bears like chocolate, Ron? Like, what's going on there?
Bears love anything sweet like that. Sugar for almost all animals becomes addictive. Oh, there you go. That's a
Oh, my God.
This is a live
you guys
shot of
thought
my.
I was joking.
This is my
you
dad's
guys thought
ear.
I was joking.
This is
Oh, yeah,
Greg
get the
Cody's ear.
tweezers.
No,
Wait a
it
minute.
is
Watch
not
this.
my ear.
Watch this. Here you go.
Please.
Watch this. This is in your ear. Now get the tweezers. Pull my baby out. Come on, hold on. There you. Oh yeah, got it. Well, wait. Oh no, pushing it further down. That's not working. It's going further down into my brain.
sometimes.
Get a grip. Okay. No, a little bit more. Come on. No, jeez,
that's
come
not
on. Man.
possible.
You're pushing it into my head.
All right, enough.
Just grab the leg. No. Oh, there he's got it. Oh yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I feel much better now. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
he
you.
only
Now that
pulled
you
out
got
half
that
of it.
massive roach out
This
of
is
my
my-
brain.
This is my dad's ear, by the way, for the record.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he said
It's a
that.
long ear.
Oh, yeah, it is a long ear.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful, huh? There you
Oh,
go.
my God.
There you go, guys.
Oh,
There you
How
go.
many
Put
were
it-
in there?
Put in the cotton balls when
All
you go
right,
to
enough,
sleep,
guys. Enough. Take
Put
it
in the
off.
cotton balls.
Ugh.
This segment has just gone to.
So bears like anything. Okay.
Bears like anything sweet, sugar. I mean, and most animals get addicted to sugar just like we as humans do.
Like honey, yeah.
So you and Greg have written what's already a very successful book. It's going to be more successful as we approach launch date here. But what is going on, Greg? You have the book in hand.
You guys should do something special for Father's Day.
You know what? I think we're about to.
Wow.
My book with Ron's book with me,
Not
our
reading.
book, The Pride of a Lion, is part of a Father's Day promotion going on right now through June 15th by my publisher, Mango Publishing.
Yours.
Along with The Pride of a Lion, there is a wide selection of other books that are also discounted and make for perfect gifts for all the dads in your life. Visit store.mangopublishinggroup.com and you'll see the entire Father's Day catalog with the discounts already applied, featuring The Pride of a Lion, Me Maximum.
Signed by both of us.
That's right.
Signed by both of us.
Signed by both of us.
All of them?
There you go.
Yeah, correct.
That's important.
Me Maximum, dads.
Ron, why were you laughing there? Because he was doing a live spot for your book? I mean,
Because of the way he was reading that script.
What? It came off like I was reading? No. That was totally extemporaneous.
Hey, look, it's a great book, man. It's a lot of fun. Greg and I had a blast doing it. I promise you'll like it. And it is a great Father's Day because it talks about the great father that Quasi becomes.
Yes.
I think it's a great story.
Yep.
All right, Ron, we love you. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, sir.
All right. Drink the Tabasco, brother. You'll be okay.
During one of the breaks today, Greg Cote was telling me the NBA Finals start on Thursday. It's a good matchup. It's the Celtics. It's the Mavericks. You have star power. You have Boston. You have one of those franchises that the NBA always wants in the NBA Finals. But you also have an unlikable city, I think, versus an unlikable player in Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
And Greg was telling me he can't find a way to root for anyone.
I can't. I mean, I'm going to be interested in the series because I think it's going to be pretty even. And you know, right now, this iteration of the Boston Celtics is most known for not winning, right? Jalen Tatum and those guys. So it'll be interesting to see if they can finally win. But I just don't find Boston and its fans particularly likable. The players are not dislikable, I don't think. But the Boston fans just have that earned reputation. And then on the other side, you mentioned Kyrie Irving. He's one of the most. If I ask you to name who are the unlikable players in the NBA, I think Kyrie Irving is on a lot of people's top fives.
He would be right up there for
Yeah.
a lot of people.
And
You're
so
right. Yes.
For me, I just can't. I usually try to root for somebody in a series. I just can't root for
Kyrie
these
has
teams.
been better this year. Like what
He's saying all the right things, but you can't forget what he
That's-
has said in the past.
Right.
I mean,
that's what I'm just saying. Like, I
Right.
think he has made efforts to improve his image, but you're right. I mean, what he did a year ago and stuff with the documentary and stuff, like, there's a lot of questionable stuff there. But I just think he's trying to fix it.
Yeah, I think Kyrie Irving to me is the Aaron Rodgers of the NBA. He's just got a lot of baggage with stuff he believes in, stuff he's said that are a little off-putting to me.
But unlike Aaron, he's the second best player on his team and has been lights out this season. Right?
True.
Like that's the thing. Like Aaron Rodgers, he comes with that baggage off an injury with a team that hopefully is set up to go far. Kyrie has been that crutch for Luka, where anytime Luka needs a break, he's been incredible this playoffs.
Absolutely.
Kyrie has stepped up and been kind of like a team leader for a lot of younger guys, right? Like he's the only guy in that locker room that has been to and won a title where he's like, guys, I know what it takes. I've hit the big shots. I've done this at the biggest levels. Come follow me. I know what I'm doing.
he is saying all the right things. Even when talking about his time in Boston, he said, wasn't sure that was my best self.
Right.
Like he's kind of making amends for all the stuff, or trying to at
Yeah.
least. It doesn't discount some of the boneheaded things he has done and
Right.
said over the years, but he has been less of a distraction than he's been in years past. We gloss over the Nets, though. Like we tend to do that with Kyrie Irving.
We gloss over it with KD, too, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I don't gloss over it.
That's true.
I wrote a book on it.
Writing.
Stugottsbook.com. I didn't gloss over it at all. But it is one of those NBA finals where it is hard. I don't care if Boston wins, and I don't care if Dallas wins. I guess I'll care when I decide who I'm going to bet on.
Yeah.
Right? Like-
yeah, and it's otherwise it's an interesting final because the Celtics haven't won since 2008 and Dallas since 2011. So, you know, it should be a good series to root for if you're just a basketball fan wanting one of these teams to win for the first time in a long time.
I just think it's really about, this is Tatum versus Luka. Like, and maybe I'm disrespecting Jaylen Brown, but for me, Tatum is just the face of the expectations of this Celtics team. And Luka, consensus top 5, probably best scorer in the league. I think this is like a legacy-changing series for both of these guys. And I just think, and I am rooting for Luka big time because I want the Celtics and Tatum, I want this all to get louder. Because I think if
It's because of your hatred for Boston.
that's true.
Yes.
Right. I'm not hiding that. I'm just saying I think that the noise is going to get really loud for Jason Tatum because they're kind of like we were talking about the Panthers. They're the favorite here. Like you're supposed to win this series if you're Jason Tatum, and I want that noise to get ratcheted up for him.
I would give Dallas a much better chance if Luka was 100% healthy. Obviously, he's had that knee issue that his numbers are still good, but considerably down in the postseason compared to the regular season. So I don't know how fit he's going to be to lead that title run.
Whatever happened to rooting for good games?
Yeah.
I'm just rooting for a
Good
close,
hoops. Yep.
good games, 7-game series.
No, we
Yeah,
want
I like
we
that.
want good games.
That's
We
what
just
I'm
don't care who
for.
wins. I mean,
Yeah.
No, I am rooting
I'm
for that.
used to that because the Bulls have never really been that good in my lifetime other than like 1 year when I was 16.
We always talk about Luka being the best player on the planet, and parity in the NBA has been hard to come by because these super teams have just kind of won and won and won and won. And now you see a team where Luka, the Mavs were good, not great. Obviously, they had a great second half of the year, but it feels like this is the parity of the league now transforming where Luka is in a finals in a year that he shouldn't have made it, right? Oklahoma City was better, Denver was better, Minnesota was better, arguably, and yet they continued to win. The Clippers in the first round. Yeah. Like, this is that, like you said, Chris, legacy defining. If Luka can win this one on a bad leg with a team that's okay, with Jason Kidd as the coach, who's never really been that guy.
This is old school.
And
like, this is Luka putting everybody on their back and winning a championship.
To the point of parity, last year the Heat make it as an 8th seed. Like, are we seeing a shift? Because this has always been the most predictable of all the sports, right? Like, we know the
LeBron's going to be in the finals.
Are going to make.
Well, you have two teams that were built the right way. They're not super teams. These guys were drafted to the. Well, I guess in the case of the Celtics, Porzingis, Derek White, Drew Holiday, but Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, both drafted by the Celtics. They're the core of that team. And in Dallas, it's Luka. Think about Dallas getting to the finals with Luka, who's not 100%, and getting rid of Jalen Brunson. Like that
and Porzingis.
And Porzingis.
Yep. Is the NBA more predictable now, or is it just an outlier? Like, is it all the three-point shooting that you can make up these big gaps in scores? I don't know. Like, I don't know the answer to the question, but it does seem the last couple of years that it's less predictable.
Greg, when we were watching the NBA in the 80s, I was going to say when we were growing up, but you were a grown-up by that point in the 80s.
Grown-ass man in the 80s.
It used to be like chalk all the time.
Yeah.
You would never see an 8 seed like we saw last year with the Heat, and then followed by a 5 seed making it to the NBA Finals.
Oh, totally.
It was always Celtics, Lakers, Sixers, like the good teams, the top 1 or 2 seeds.
What's the reason for that?
The joke in the NBA used to be, I'll take the 3 best teams in the league, and you can have the field. You can have the other 27 teams.
Yes.
Because it was just so top heavy. Now I think it's different, but this finals is a good contrast because Boston has been the best team all year.
I mean, everyone was hurt they played. What a cakewalk they had.
Boston's been the best team,
right?
For me.
But it both can be true. They were the best team in the regular season, and every star that they played against in the playoffs got hurt.
That's fair enough, but there's also a metric that shows they have the most efficient offense in NBA history.
Right.
So they're legit a great team. And then Dallas is a little bit of an outlier coming out of nowhere, beating teams that they shouldn't have beat, as Tony said. So I think it's a good contrast in this finals. It's just not one that I find particularly likable.
It's almost like the architecture of teams in this modern NBA has changed, right? Where it was you need 3 stars, right? It feels like the Nets were trying to do it, the Suns are trying to do it. You need 3 guys to be you. It feels now you can have one guy that really changes the tide of your team, and then another guy to supplant and help that. Right, like Luka and Kyrie, they don't need a third guy. They've got Gafford, they've got Lively, they've got just PJ Washington. They've just got guys.
2 guys and a bunch of guys.
All right, exactly.
Architecture
You need 2
of a
guys.
team.
Right.
I love it. I love breaking down.
That's the old school. It was Jordan, and he couldn't win until he got Scottie Pippen, and then they won.
Yeah.
6 straight. That's how we used to do it.
I just want 7 games.
Yeah.
You
Give me
do?
a game
I agree.
7.
You want? So does Boston have home court here?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So you want Game 7, Kyrie on the road in Boston?
Wow, that'd be electric.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be
Spicy
good.
meatball.
We should all be rooting for a 7th game. If you could choose Jaylen Brown, if you could draft right now, and you had to do it in tandems, would you take Brown and Tatum or Luka and Kyrie?
That's tough.
Wow.
Luka and
It's
Kyrie.
tough. Luka's so good.
I take Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah,
just for the heaviness of the Luka side, no pun intended.
Kyrie's the oldest of the group,
Yeah,
right?
he's 32.
Based
think
off
so.
age, I might go. I don't know, man.
He's still in his bag. Like Kyrie is incredible with the ball in his hands. Like he can do anything and make any shot. He can do anything. So like for me, when I look at the secondary, Jaylen Brown versus Kyrie, I still kind of give the edge to Kyrie because Jaylen Brown can disappear in games the same way Tatum can disappear in games.
The Bulls did not win 6 straight titles.
Well, they won 6 in 8 years.
Yeah.
MJ
So
won
they
6 straight titles.
Well, the Rockets won 2 because MJ retired for 2
No, I
years.
know. I'm
and those
aware.
don't count in my personal record book, StugottsBook.com.
Can I ask about
Elijah
this
Wan
book?
never won a title because if Jordan, let me just get this out, Billy. If Jordan doesn't step away from the game.
Well, don't give away all the goods from your book. Why are people going to buy it if you just say it all right now?
It's a good point. But they win 8 straight, okay? And Elijah Wan never wins a title. And so that's all I'm saying. I don't care what the record book says. My record book says that the Bulls won 8 consecutive titles.
I think just off age, you got to go with the Celtics guys. Brown's the oldest. He's 27.
I think Billy was going to.
No, it's fine. I don't care. Your book was supposed to come out in July when people pre-ordered it the first time.
Yeah.
Now it says November 20-something.
Yeah, holidays.
Happy
A
Thanksgiving.
6-month delay.
$29.99.
No delay. I mean, the book is written. We're just waiting on Dan. I mean, that's it. A little forward, I asked Dan to write the forward, and I spelt it Forward.
Oh, no.
Like a power forward.
You should write that, Stu. The Power Forward, and then it's Dan writing the forward of your book, and you call it the Power
I
Forward.
think Dan took advantage of me sending that via text.
I definitely know the difference in the two words for sure.
Yeah, you do.
Billy, why are you so concerned about the release date of my book? What's going on there?
No, because you keep telling people to go to StugottsBook.com, so I went there and I noticed. And
Oh,
now
you
it says
got one.
November.
Thank you.
No, I went to the website and now I noticed it says it's available at the end of November, and I was like, I remember it being much earlier.
Right in time for the holidays, Billy.
But then there was a whole situation where I guess you were returning books to people at some point.
I am telling you, anyone who thinks they're returning a book, they're not, okay? I don't care. Like, bring it up, talk to Random House. I didn't do anything wrong, okay? We did a release. A lot of people bought the book, and then we did a separate release, and that came with an insert and an autographed copy, and now people are canceling their original release because they want the second release. Nothing I can do about it. You're stuck with the book.
Greg, how many times? Oh, that's not how I just sell your
Bring
book.
it to the studio. I'll sign it for you. I'll give you an insert. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Bring it to the
I mean, I'm busy
studio.
writing a book. I can't control everything. What do you want me to do?
Greg, how many times was your book release pushed back?
I think it was pushed back a few months, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I might have been the guy who had the brainstorm to wait a little bit and make it more of a Christmas season.
That was
holiday
your
season
idea.
kind of.
The publishing company didn't come up
Well,
with.
I'm going to take credit for it. I think it was originally supposed to come out in like August or something.
Yeah, you pushed it back.
Yeah.
Right.
anticipation grows.
Yeah.
I think they piggybacked on my idea.
Probably,
yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, the anticipation for this personal record book of Stugotz's is so great and building because of this very thing we're talking about.
Can I ask you a question, Stugotz?
Sure.
And it's probably a private conversation, but I'll ask you publicly.
Great.
It doesn't involve you. I'm just asking.
That's what he does, Roy.
No, it's not. It
Yeah,
has
that's
nothing
exactly
to do,
what he
It has
does.
nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. I just need your advice on something. I feel like I hurt someone earlier unintentionally, and I'm wondering if I should give that person an apology even though I don't mean it. I'll give you the scenario.
How important is this person?
To my life?
Yes.
Not very.
Okay.
So I was in the kitchen over there, the eating area, the commissary.
Poor Taylor.
And Taylor and
Fuentes.
Tony were standing next to each other.
Oh, boy.
And Tony got very offended because I said that Taylor is in better shape than Tony is.
I did not get very offended.
He was
I said,
quite bothered by the
you don't
fact
know,
I
you
said.
don't have any metrics for anything. You're just talking.
Did you say anything, Tony? Did you make
It's
a face?
just stuff
Did
like
you...
this, just like very defensive responses when I was like, Taylor's in better shape.
You don't have
'Cause
metrics.
This is what happened. Here's what happened.
What metrics?
Taylor was eating a donut.
Right.
And Tony was trying to shame him for eating a donut. And I said, respectfully, he's in better shape than you are. Like, leave him alone.
Let's see those abs.
Stop
we can see
picking
them right
on
now.
him.
Stand up.
Because that's what was going on. He was trying to bully Taylor for eating a donut, and Taylor is in better shape than Tony.
You're
physically.
saying Taylor can afford to eat a donut.
I'm saying
Right.
if I were to take dietary advice from Taylor or Tony, I would listen to Taylor's advice on what I should be eating.
You don't listen
and
to
not
advice
Tony.
from anybody.
It's an ab off.
But if I were, I would listen to Taylor. Taylor's in better shape. That's all I said, and he just got very mad at me. So
I
I'm
didn't
wondering,
get-
should I apologize for saying that Taylor's in better shape than him?
Don't apologize. You've
He just
already
kept saying
given
things
the
like,
preface
you don't
of
have
you don't care.
metrics. You don't know what you're talking about.
Are you
what
mad,
do you know
Tony?
about?
No, I don't care.
I don't care. I don't know. You don't
What's
know what
that
we're
BFP?
working out.
Well, saying you don't have metrics would seem to stand to reason that you care, you know? I mean, it's something you say when you care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And I was just
It's
trying to look out for
completely
You're
okay.
saying
Taylor.
prove it.
I was trying to look out for Taylor.
Right.
Right. You in body shaming Taylor, you then had to turn to body shame Tony to give him a taste of his own medicine.
I didn't body shame
No, I
Taylor.
mean Tony body
yeah.
shamed
He was
Taylor.
trying to.
I
So then
didn't
you
body
had
shame
to-
Taylor. Guys, we have lunch at a specific time.
Right.
Taylor is having a donut before lunch. He's going to ruin his lunch. He's trying to help the guy out, man.
That's very nice
Then
of you.
Fuentes
and
came
you're right,
in.
by the way.
Fuentes
Yes.
came in and said, in all fairness, you don't know if Taylor has clogged arteries, which
Little
had
bit about
nothing to
everything.
do
Which
with
is true.
anything.
Classic Fuentes.
Right.
A little
Classic
bit about everything.
40-year-old guy.
Like his cholesterol could be
his
through the roof.
cholesterol.
That's what he
Right.
said. Yeah, he mentioned his cholesterol.
So you were looking out for Taylor.
I was trying to
was.
protect
You
Taylor.
You didn't want him to spoil his lunch by
We're
eating
on
a
the
donut.
same side
Right.
here. Me and Billy are on the same side, arguing the same side of the
Exactly.
coin. We're trying to look out for Taylor.
So why'd you get so mad?
Who,
Why
Tony,
did you attack me
Tony,
for trying to defend him?
who's in better shape, you or Taylor?
I don't care.
Okay.
It's not the answer to this question.
You just care about his lunch.
I just care about, hey, the guy's trying to get somewhere, okay, physically. He's got to take care of himself.
But I think he's there. I think he's closer to his destination.
Okay.
Does Taylor feel like he's in better shape than Tony?
Taylor, thumbs up or thumbs down? You're in better shape? Oh, okay.
Oh,
He
wow.
thinks he could run himself
Tony's
in.
laughing
That's a
at
thumbs up from Taylor. That's a thumbs up from Taylor.
Who's in the best shape here?
I do see Taylor, like, he goes to the gym. He's got, like, he does, like, trainer stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying I've
What do you
seen.
mean he does trainer stuff?
What does
It
that
is
mean?
very confusing.
He does. He's not just going to the gym. I've seen him doing workouts with, like, a group and a trainer. Like,
do
he's
the
not.
rope.
Good tee
Yeah, like
shot
classic
as well.
try hard.
Good tee shot.
Good tee shot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Taylor's got a
Is he in the
decent tee
gym
shot.
with me and Frankie lifting weights up here?
No, but he does.
Frankie's in the best shape of anyone
Just
here.
making sure.
Taylor does core work. Taylor's worried about like everything. You're just trying to get on like the popcorn muscles, you know what I mean? Like to look big for bikini season, so you look like a fuerte. And Taylor's worried about his health.
He's eating a donut. He's not worried about his health.
Nothing wrong with eating a donut.
Yeah.
If you're hungry, eat what you want.
Yeah.
Health food.
Yep. Remember those days, Greg, where you could eat a donut before lunch and had no
yeah.
impact on your physical?
You kidding me? Those days were yesterday with me. You kidding me?
Yeah, but now it impacts you physically.
Yeah, well,
When you were Taylor's age, you could do whatever the hell you want.
I do find donuts to be very filling. You know, I can eat 3 and then that's it for me. So.
Three? That's
Three.
Oh, that's me.
3 seems like the magic number.
Yeah,
for a donut.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
No?
it is.
3 donuts.
Well, it depends how thick they are, and it depends also like
Krispy Kremes.
how
Can you
fluffy
eat
they
3
are.
Krispy
Oh, I could
Kremes?
eat 14 Krispy Kremes.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
outta here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Hold
Those
I'm
things
not
are
going
crack.
to.
Yeah.
With a Coke, right? Healthy guy.
What?
Coke?
Cola.
Now he's saying he's in better shape than me. Okay, Tony, you're the healthiest person alive.
Tony, do you feel like you're in the best shape of anyone here? Just be honest.
No.
No.
Did that nuke everybody's argument just now? Or?
Well, because you're
No one
lying.
believes
Everybody
you.
knows you're lying. Yeah.
I know what I know, and that's it. You guys don't. You guys aren't with me in the gym. That's
and,
cool.
And you know it.
And you know it. That kind of thing.
Are we going to discuss Caitlin Clark today?
Yes, let's laugh at it.
Is it the most
Not at Caitlin Clark.
Discuss.
The coverage, and how
Wow.
outraged everyone is getting about how we're covering women's sports.
I was going to
Laugh at the
say,
flop.
is it the most covered foul in the history of all of basketball?
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, Greg Cote was doing the thing of like, oh, it's one of the worst fouls I've ever seen.
I thought
It's
it was
just it was a hard foul. It should have been a flagrant.
Is there a shiver in there?
Yeah, it was
Ever
a dirty
seen-
play. It was a dirty play.
right.
You know, it wasn't. It was more than a hard foul. It was an unsportsmanlike display, I thought.
I think if she doesn't fall, then it's different.
I just think they missed a call, and I think I was at Monty's yesterday. Great spot. Love Monty's.
It is a great
Everyone
spot.
in South Florida knows.
Mm-hmm.
You got the brick of curly fries or no?
No, I
They
didn't
send
get
out a
that.
brick.
I got yucca fries.
Like a brick of curly fries. They just take it and they put it in the fryer and take it out to you, and it's in a huge brick.
What?
Sounds healthy.
Damn, that sounds
awful.
great.
I've seen Billy get it twice.
They were still talking about it on SportsCenter yesterday at like 5 o'clock. Granted, there's been another Fever game since this game happened.
It's
And
unbelievable.
they're still talking about just this foul getting upgraded to a flagrant one. And the only reason I wanted to bring it up is because yesterday Pat McAfee called Caitlin Clark a white bitch on ESPN and then had to apologize for it. And Stephen A. Smith also embarrassed himself on
That was
First Take,
crazy.
arguing with Monica McNutt. So like 2 of ESPN's top talent just completely embarrassed themselves talking about women's sports, a league that they're partnered with at ESPN, and nothing's gonna happen. Like they're both just gonna it's fine, gonna get away with it, and nothing really matters. And I find that like mind-boggling.
Wasn't Stephen A. Smith kind of doing like stats, like we talk more about the WNBA than every other show? Like who cares? But you're not talking about it well.
Well, Stephen A. also then doubled down on his podcast, which he basically said, "You only know who Monica McNutt is because of me, because I put her on First Take."
I handpicked
boy.
the
What?
roster.
That-
I handpicked the roster, and you.
Wow.
He made it a lot worse. McAfee tried to argue that he said it complimentary in a strange defense for himself. He tried to say well, I meant it as a compliment, and then issued an apology, and then later on WWE Raw called a wrestler a white bitch.
Jess,
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Jess, it's funny because we've been discussing men's sports for 50 years now on the radio. 50 years, and we're still terrible at it. And so now we're discussing women's sports. And you expect, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying it's going to take a minute. We're not doing it well. And I'm confused have men never watched women's sports before? Because Caitlin Clark came in with all this fanfare, deserved, by the way. But LeBron went through this. Michael Jordan went through it. Caleb Williams is about to go through it. People are going to take their shots. They're going to say, hey, we're pretty good over here as well. It's not just about Caitlin Clark. And she's going through some of those rookie lumps that all the great players go through. Women are competitive. Is that surprising to men?
I guess so. I mean, I'm with you, Stugotz. Like, I played sports growing up, and it was super physical. There would be fights sometimes. There would be, like, really intense competition, and that's part of any sport, and not just the WNBA, any sport. I'm sure when you coached your daughter's lacrosse team and are watching her play at Northwestern, lacrosse is one of the most physical sports there is. There's hard fouls all the time. It's just like very weird how this has become a conversation about like having to protect Caitlin Clark, who also dishes it out too. That's part of her game. That's a reason why people like her, is because she's so tough. She was a tough player in college, and she dished it out. And I'm not saying that Kennedy Carter should have done this. Obviously, I said yesterday it should have been called a flagrant on the spot, and I don't think this entire backlash happens if the refs just don't miss that call. But it's so weird how like mainstream sports has been covering this for like 3 days. And also when it goes to Stephen A. Smith, all he had to do was say like, you're right, like we'll do better. And I think that whole conversation like doesn't happen. Like it doesn't require a lot for men who have been covering sports for a long time that are now catching up to the popularity of women's sports just to say like, you're right, like we're learning too. Like
that's what we need to do.
Figure it out.
I feel like it's like our show Throwing Stones. Like we've been showing our ass on this stuff as much as anyone. So
we're talking about it. We're not talking about it well. That's essentially what's going on. Yeah. And some people will say, well, at least they're talking about it. No, talk about it well. Do a better job. Talk about it in a way that kind of makes sense. And for people to not know, first off, I guarantee you, Caitlin Clark, Greg, I guarantee you, she wants the bumpy road. She wants people to come after her. She's a competitor. It's a sign of respect that so many people are going after her in the WNBA. That's what she wants. That's what she expects.
She did say over the weekend, I feel like I'm getting hammered.
Okay, but still, she's a competitor, and she knew she was going to go through some of this. And I'm certain she wants it to be done. Right.
Little PK3?
I'm certain she wants it to be done within the confines of the rules of the sport, but she doesn't want it to be easy.
I think it's great for the league, for the sport, that she isn't finding it easy. I think it's great that this wonderkind from college can't just waltz into the WNBA and pick up right where she left off at Iowa, because it speaks to the level of the NBA, the quality level. But I think everybody right now, the media and other women in the WNBA, are coming to grips with what nobody wants to admit, which is that Caitlin Clark, her alone, is a huge reason why a lot of people, including me, quite frankly, are paying more attention to the WNBA now than ever before. I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's making a lot of other players jealous, and they should be jealous.
That's where I'll stop you. I think a lot of WNBA players have said that exact thing, that she's bringing more eyeballs and that they're happy that they're finally getting coverage. Where I'd stop is that they're all jealous of her. Not that it's wrong to be jealous of someone who is making a ton of money.
$28 million.
I don't think it's jealousy. It's like, hey, look over here. We're pretty good too, and we laid down the foundation for this.
I agree with that.
I think it's more so there's probably some jealousy mixed into it. I'm not going to claim that I know what everyone is thinking, obviously, but I think it's jealousy as well as competition and wanting to prove like, hey, we're here too. We also deserve the amount of coverage that you've been getting in college. And I think like it's impossible to even have this conversation comparing the players that have set the foundation of the WNBA without acknowledging the fact that those players played in the NCAA tournament without their games being televised. Those players went to college without being able to make NIL deals. Those players have been in a league where ESPN hasn't televised a lot of their games, even though they've been partners, and they haven't talked about it on First Take. And that was, I think, Monica McNutt's point, is that like this is all happening and it's a great thing.
So offended, Stephen A.
And it's like
we've been talking. Like,
he found her. I mean,
can't
he
you just
found her.
say like, okay, we're new to this too. Like he had to like get all defensive about
given the
just
stats.
like, all right, yeah, like you're right.
Where are the
Stephen A,
metrics?
do me a favor.
You're
Talk
right.
women's.
Where are the metrics?
Do me a favor. Don't talk about women's sports when it's convenient. Talk about women's sports because you want to talk about women's sports.
Because it's a good product.
Like
the games are. There's going to be more Sky Liberty tonight. It's going to be a great game.
Northwestern
Hopefully
was
the Sky
just
win it
going for back-to-back NCAA lacrosse championships, and Izzy Skane has had every bit the career as Caitlin Clark had at basketball. I didn't hear a single person in the media, including you, Stephen A. Smith, mention her name or mention that team. You are only talking about it when it's convenient for you and your ratings.
This isn't the first time that Pat McAfee's gotten in some trouble, we should say.
Mm-hmm.
It's also not the first time he's mocked the trouble on WWE Raw later that night.
Do we think the call came that someone ordered the code red, like, hey, you have to apologize on Twitter? Or how do we think this went down?
I mean, he was like the number one thing trending. So like, I imagine in his mind, maybe he was just like, I got to say something, but I would not be surprised if someone was like, yo, because it didn't seem very sincere. So it almost felt like a forced.
It seems like you're apologizing because you have to apologize. So I would think that somebody there got in his ear. I would have a hard time believing that Pat McAfee said to himself, you know what, that was wrong. I need to apologize.
The most important thing I think about all of this, like we just did, 10 minutes on the WNBA and Stephen A., a couple minutes on McAfee.
Fine.
Dan's in LA right now, and he's not talking about any of this.
Oh, must be killing
How
him.
much is this eating away at him?
Did he like text you like, please let me come on and talk about it?
He did not. No, you have him texting me when he's away in California.
Please.
He doesn't text me when he's here.
Oh, this story was made for me.
You don't get the 4 a.m. texts?
No. I used to get them all the time. I don't get them anymore. I'm thankful. I mean, you're still getting them? You're getting them now?
I honestly, has been a few months. I don't think I've got. Billy gets them all the time.
I get them.
The thing about his apology that came out, forced or not, I mean, it seems as though someone would have said something, right? Because even in the apology, when you see it, he says, I meant it as complimentary. Which seems...
How?
Well, no, I mean, if you listen to what he was saying, because he was saying she's the
He
one
was
drawing all the attention.
he was trying
I'm not
to-
defending him, but I'm saying he was trying to speak positively of her, but he just said
It just seems to be kind of
Calling her a
like...
bitch.
No, I mean, because he was saying
I know,
she's the one drawing all the attention.
I
Not...
listened to the whole clip,
Yeah.
and he had a screen of other white WNBA players on screen and was saying, see, look at all of these other white women that have been in the WNBA that are stars that we've ignored. We don't just like Caitlin because she's white. That was the whole crux of his argument, which isn't like that on its own is worth debating. I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
But in doing that, then he went and said,
It's just how he talks. Like, and he thought that it was normal to say it on air, and then obviously it's not.
He thought that was a compliment, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, he said
in
as
his
much
world,
in
he
his
thought he was
apology.
complimenting Caitlin Clark, and then he apologized.
That's what the apology
What a crazy world he lives in,
Yeah.
where he thinks that's a compliment.
That's a weird world.
I mean,
he
it's-
almost said it in the context of like she's a badass. In his way
No,
of
I
saying
understand
badass,
it. I get it. Yes.
No, it's just
That's
just,
not the way to say
That's the
it.
way he says it. And
Yes. He says it's 100% on me. Well, who else would it be on? Like, I hate that in apology. Hey, that's on me. No, Sherlock.
I have never
Love you,
missed
Pat.
NFL minicamp coverage more. I'm not gonna lie. It's
mandatory minicamp. Oh,
Yeah.
even better. They got to be there.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Sure.
As someone who
Yes,
is
I'm
a-
healthy. That's it.
As someone who's a fan of the WNBA, do you wish that like the new fans would just go away?
no, honestly, I don't, and I don't mind that anyone that hasn't.
It just
watched
seems like an exhausting experience
Well,
at this point.
I think that there's new fans that like genuinely want to engage in like watch the games and talk about it and stuff. Like I don't even think that Pat McAfee and Stephen A. don't fit into that category. Like I do think people do want to talk about it more and watch the games and just like be fans. But there are a lot of disingenuous arguments being made that come from a place of not knowing the history, not knowing the context. And I'll admit, I don't know the entire history of the WNBA. I've been a fan for most of my adult life, but I didn't grow up watching it. The games weren't on TV very much when I was young. I went to games when the Sky played in Rosemont, but I think that's okay. Like you don't have to know everything about it, but then at least like come from that place of like, I want to learn more. I want to listen. I listen to the experts. The other thing that blows my mind is like, I hosted a show with Kate for like 3 years where we talked about women's sports. And like when we started doing that show, like the amount of imposter syndrome I felt, like I would say like a pretty good base knowledge of like all general women's sports, like soccer, basketball, everything, college basketball, especially, because that's what I did a lot in college with. But like, Kate's an expert. Like she's a best-selling author. She played college basketball. She's super smart. She's a super accomplished journalist. Like, talking with her about it, I'd be like, oh my God, I really got to know I gotta learn.
Study up.
But there's people that just like go to work and they're like, I don't need to do any of that.
Right.
I'm just gonna come to my job and act like I know everything. And like that, to me, like.
But Jess, what I'm saying is,
imagine.
we're still doing that with men's sports.
I agree.
This
think
character was built on that.
But it's a
agree.
strange
Like
defense.
Caitlin Clark needs to win a championship. That's this bread and butter right here.
We
for
talked
this
about
guy.
this during the NCAA tournament. Like, I think that's fine. Like, I
Right.
think GOAT talk or championship rings, put your rings in a box, whatever. Like,
Best
that's
college
all
player
fine.
ever? Question
But yesterday I'm scrolling Twitter and I see the Chicago Tribune editorial board put out an article with no byline saying that Kennedy Carter's foul on Caitlin Clark could be considered assault.
That's a great.
That is where I'm like,
It was Schefter.
whoa.
Yeah, we're just arresting black women on them.
Exactly, Roy. Like, there's a racial undertone that I think needs to be acknowledged, and also
that's ridiculous.
the obvious like gender bias that comes into play when we're covering female athletes and women has been so obvious when we're talking about, especially this foul, which is a hip check on a player, a popular player. It's been done before. It happened to Angel Reese in a game last week
Flagrant one was
against
called.
Jonquil Jones.
Well, in hindsight.
Angel Reese got that was
Jess,
a
I'm
different play.
telling
That
you-
was Alyssa Thompson.
Jess, I'm
Or
telling
Thompson.
you,
Flagrant?
men thought that women handle sports differently. They're assassins. They want to win. They're competitive. Like, what did men think? Like, I'm glad that we're finally here and we're discussing women's sports, but what we're discussing is ludicrous. We're not discussing women's sports. We're discussing how to discuss women's sports. That's absurd. It is. Go watch women's sports, not just Caitlin Clark. If you want to watch it and see how women treat sports, hey, I got news for you. They treat it just like the men do. They care. They want to win. They get a bit jealous when someone's getting all the hype. Someone has all the camera time. So what do? Hard foul. You've never seen that before? You have. You've been watching it your entire life. This is no different.
Let's just call a spade what it is. This is a perfect opportunity for the weaponized type of people to get weaponized and get behind something of this racial magnitude. Because like you just said, Angel Reese just suffered the same thing. Jonquil Jones pushed her, and then she pushed her again harder. But she got after the game like, oh, thank you, excuse me, pardon me. AT did the same thing with her. The victim angle that Caitlin took weaponized everybody. That wasn't a basketball play. And that's the part where the same bots that activate after Trump, they activate on these type of things, and that's what's happened. Everybody, like Chris said, bro, Stephen A. of the world, just say you ain't been doing a good enough job.
Right.
Don't nobody care, but be real.
He's
That's
keeping
what we
stats.
Want.
No, he's talked about it more than anyone.
Right, we just want it real.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's just like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'll do better. And everyone's like, yes, he just said I'll do better. Like, that's so
She
brave.
wasn't even criticizing Stephen A. She was giving him his flower. Like, yes, you've had us here, but you could have been doing it 3 years ago. And he's just like, I'm gonna go film a whole podcast about this.
Right. That's where you could say the quote unquote men of the world. That's embarrassing for us. Like when you say we don't want to say we don't know the way if you ask us directions. That stereotype. Same situation,
Yeah.
Stephen A. Bro, you could have been doing this last year, bro. I ain't hear you say nothing about Ryan Howard.
Right.
I ain't hear you say nothing about these ladies, Nelson the Dodo from Connecticut. But you don't even know these folks for real. So just at least keep it real. Like, oh, that's my fault. Don't double down and get on your podcast later on and say, do you know Monica McNutt? It's because of me. Like, yeah.
Andrea Carter, have you heard of her?
That's
wild,
It's a big
man.
cringe.
I mean,
it's
it's
super
ridiculous.
Men, that is
it's
a thing-
perfectly Stephen A., but you just can't do that.
No, but that is a thing that women hear and acknowledge and take note of, because I hear men say that all the time. Like, oh, well, I hired this person. I invented them. I created them. Like, taking credit for a person's success. Every woman has heard a man in their career say that at some point, and they take note of that. He's not the first person to do that. That is a terrible look.
Yeah.
Barkley saying stuff like they should make it easy on her and, kiss her hand because she's brought all this exposure and they have chartered flights because of her. No, what the other women are saying is, no, we laid the foundation. We're pretty good too. We're the reason she has this platform to do what it is that she's doing. That's all they're objecting to. It's absurd.
She talk. She out there talking big crowd. She out there, she doing the same thing. So shoot, these folk want to see you back it up because I'm a brick wall, sis.
Yep. Dad, before we get out of here, I want to give you a chance to. There's 2 topics here that you kind of wanted to talk about today that I'll give you an either or. You want to talk about the Dolphins being afraid to commit to Tua? That's a theory that you've thrown out there.
It's kind of funny.
I like that.
Or do you want to talk about what Paraguay and Oregon have in common?
Oh, wow.
Well,
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm a sports columnist, so naturally I want to talk about the Paraguay Oregon thing.
Nice.
I found this very interesting.
You know what we want, Greg.
This was one of my 3 facts, Jack.
The funny thing is
my segment on the Greg Cote Show.
Right.
podcast.
On the Greg Cote Show, every week he does 3 facts, Jack, and I hate the segment because they're generally just things that bore me.
Mm-hmm.
And he said this to me before, and I forgot it. So I'm now thinking that this maybe isn't going to be as good as I thought because you've told me this before, and I forgot it.
Yeah, and here it is. In the entire world, when you encompass all countries, all states, including United States, Paraguay, from South America, of course, and the U.S. state of Oregon are the only 2 flags, official flags, that are different on either side. How about that?
See? Forgettable.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Wait, you mean like a
Can you say it
triangle,
again?
parallelogram,
Okay.
or
But
something?
slower.
Okay. Okay.
So they're different on both
Yeah.
sides.
If you
Paraguay.
if
The
you
shape
look
is
at
different.
what's on it is different. The look
So
is
they're
different.
asymmetrical.
No.
Both sides. If you look
Like
at
the
on
front of the flag and the back of the flag have different things
Yes,
on them?
exactly.
Oh.
Got
Right.
it.
Yes.
Well
I've never thought of
said.
the backside of a flag.
Yeah, like the
Me
state
neither.
flag, the
Same
Florida
here.
state flag, the Canadian flag are the same on each side. Only in Paraguay and Oregon are the 2 sides of a flag different. That kind of thing.
So what do we do with that?
I didn't say it was an interesting fact. I just said it was an unusual
So the
fact.
Dolphins are afraid to commit to Tua, huh?
Well,
I
you
do,
wonder about
Greg,
that.
it is interesting. The reason that just died on the vine was because I asked what the state flag of Florida was, and they were describing it to me, and then we were tuning you out in the
Yeah.
process. But the state flag of Florida is just the red
looks
thing
like-
with like a crest.
Yeah.
So that's printed on both sides.
Yeah, it's the same
correct?
on both sides.
So there's no flags that are just a one side and then the other side's
I thought
blank.
all
No.
flags were one-sided.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not gonna lie, I had never thought about it till just now.
So the Paraguay flag has what? Different crests on both sides?
Yeah, I can't describe it. I just know it's different on
Oh,
both
there you go.
sides, and there it is.
It is different, yes.
So it's a different crest.
Different
in the
symbol,
middle,
yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a different red,
Just
too.
different shades
does,
of
yeah.
color.
Bad
Yeah,
probably
different shades of
Google
red,
search.
different
Looks like
shades
a
of
Florida
blue.
Gator flag or something.
And so Oregon has state of Oregon on the front and then something on the back.
Yeah,
beaver.
Yeah,
Beaver.
Right.
Well, right, the beavers. Makes sense.
Beeves.
Man, what were the other 2 facts if that was just number 1?
No ducks.
That's
I'm on the
pretty
beach.
good.
No, that
Hell
was-
yeah.
How'd you find that out, Greg?
It's a good question,
know,
Roy.
I-
Google's interesting facts.
I heard it.
No, I have a wealth, a place I go for facts. Let's
Right.
put it that way.
Do you have a flag ranking?
I do not have a flag
really?
ranking. No.
Wow.
May want to make one.
The Greg Cote Show logo would be pretty
Oh, by
high.
the way, we get 2 national anthems for these games. Do you like "O Canada" better than? Because I do.
It's a strong song.
I don't mind O Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially in Edmonton, they wail it.
Yeah. No, I don't mind O Canada. In fact,
It's better than
pretty good.
ours, I
It's
think.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Slow down there, Jack.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You don't think it is?
No, absolutely not. Star Spangled Banner all the way.
Could you
Red,
sing?
white, and
Could
blue.
you sing the Star Spangled Banner? Could you get all the words right?
I think so.
Go for it.
I'm not going to sing.
No, you should do
I'm not
it.
going to take
I'm not a
quiz here.
jukebox.
I know
Taylor
all the
could
words
sing it.
till
Taylor
Lamar
could-
said.
Taylor,
it.
you wanna come in
Taylor's
here
good
and
at
sing it?
singing.
Good, come in here
Yeah.
and come sing it.
He definitely has a better voice.
I actually want to hear you sing the Star Spangled Banner. I don't know why. I just feel like it would tickle me.
Guys, I'm not taking a quiz here.
I bet Taylor could sing it.
Like
Have him
Leslie
come in
Nielsen.
here and sing it.
Steve Martin also.
You're good. I don't need to do it.
Tua.
I'll get you going. We'll get you going.
Oh, say, can you see?
Take it away.
By the dawn's early light, we're so proudly. We just so you know, I'm looking up the Paraguay flag. At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in. Note the tone change. Gave
our flag was still there.
Bring it home, Tony.
Say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, everybody.
Let's go, Panthers!
Taylor, come in here and do it.